Hi everybody! I hope that this video finds you guys all healthy and hopefully not too bored. I just wanted to send a short video kind of just talking about what our plan's going to be for this coming week, and hopefully there's just been a lot of changes with the College Board that I'm sure that you guys have been made aware of. Kind of good news, bad news. The good news is the College Board has kind of agreed to chop off some of the content that would have been taught at the end of a lot of the AP classes in light of just everything that's happened. I guess the bad news is, they're kind of going to be creating sort of a shortened AP test. I don't know, I guess I just feel like that's a little bit bad news because I just liked the amount of questions that were on the other test. I have heard rumors, but I'll expect to get a definitive answer on this on April 3rd when the College Board is going to reveal some more information to us, that there may not be any multiple choice questions on the AP test. That was kind of disappointing to me because many of you have shown that you can certainly get half of the multiple choice questions right anytime we have an assessment. And that is just a huge advantage that you would have towards just getting a good AP score. So I was a little disappointed if the whole thing's going to be free response questions and that there might only be like 2 or 3 of them. I'm not sure, but in 45 minutes, you certainly could not do 6 of them. So here's what we're going to start reviewing. We're not going to cover any of the remaining content since that's not actually going to be on the test. You can see in the agenda what's expected, but I just wanted to kind of detail just a little bit with you what this nuts and bolts review activity is. This is what last year's students said when we started reviewing. It was one of the most valuable things that we did in preparation. There've been a lot of content that we've talked about this year, and this was kind of a nice way to sort of comb through all of the notes and summarize the most important things. And I can't stress enough how important it is that each one of you go through your notes pages and kind of pick out what those key important things are. And then we're going to kind of compile all those together on a list, and that'll serve as like a good sort of Cliff Note study guide, if you will. Okay, so what you guys are going to receive is you're going to receive a document that each page is kind of a way that you could list the most critical concepts and ideas for each chapter. And so I've kind of made the boxes big. You can see there's chapter 1. I left enough boxes for 8 things. Some of the chapters, there might be more than 8 important things that you want to write down. Okay, and other chapters, I'm hoping that at a minimum, you can at least find 5 things. That's what I want you to do. At least 5, but please know that, there's more than 5 in a lot of these chapters. Okay, so here's how this is going to work. Your assignment for today on Monday is going to be that you guys look through all of your chapter 1 notes. I think there were 2 sections there, and all of your chapter 2 notes, okay? And you're going to those first 2 pages on that nuts and bolts document that I shared with you. You're going to try to pull a minimum of at least 5 important things that if you had to summarize that chapter, that you would summarize it with those 5 things, okay? And if you could print this document, all the better. If not, you can just make your list on a separate sheet of paper. But each day this week, like today I'm going to release that document. Tomorrow by 10 a.m., you need to have submitted pictures of your chapter 1 and your chapter 2 nuts and bolts into Google Classroom. I'll have an assignment there. And you submitting those 2 pictures of your at least 5 most important things from those 2 chapters, that's worth 10 points. Okay. Now what's going to happen tomorrow at 10:30 on Google Classroom, I'm going to release what I feel were all the nuts and bolts for chapters 1 and 2. Okay. You need to compare what you came up with to the list that I have on there. And if there's something I included that maybe you overlooked or forgot, add it to your list. Okay, this way we shouldn't have to really look back at our notes, and these nuts and bolts pages are going to be the thing that you can just go back to and kind of study these key components. Okay. Also at 10:30, I'm going to release 3 to 4 free response questions that are going to go with chapters 1 and 2. Okay. And the idea is, after we just looked at those most important pieces in those chapters, you should be feeling really good about doing 3 or 4 free response questions on those ideas. Okay. Now, the following day, you need to have submitted by 10 a.m. those 3 or 4 free response questions in Google Classroom, and that's worth 20 points. Okay. At 10:30 on that next day, I'm going to release a video that's going to kind of go through a quick explanation of those 3 or 4 free response questions that you would have just submitted. And I'm going to ask that you watch the video and have your free response answers right out there and kind of check and see how you did. Okay. And then you're going to do the next 2 chapters for your nuts and bolts. So you would do like chapters 3 and 4, compiling those. And we're just going to kind of repeat the same process. Okay, each day. And you can see that on the agenda. I would really encourage you guys, when you're doing your free response questions, to set a timer and allow yourself only 13 to 15 minutes to do each free response question. Again, I'm not fully sure what to expect this year, but at least in the past, the free response questions, it's been on average a 13 to 15 minute kind of time frame to do those. Okay. And so you can see in here, I tried to color code this on the agenda. Everything in green is when I'm releasing assignments on Google Classroom, and then everything in blue are like the times that things are due. Okay, and you certainly could submit them earlier, would be fine. Okay, and I'll just point out one last thing. We're going to have a quiz on Tuesday, tomorrow, on just multiple choice, deciding like which inference procedure you should use, like if it's a 2 sample t-test for means or a 1 proportion z interval. And that's really similar to what I had you guys do on this website. So if you wanted to get on there and practice some more, you could. But that's going to be open, that little quiz, on AP Classroom at 8 a.m., but it's not due until Tuesday evening at 10 p.m. So at some point during the day, you just need to make sure that you get that little multiple choice quiz completed. Okay, I miss you guys. I hope that you guys are doing well. And we're just it'll take probably this week and then, next week for us to kind of get through each of these, doing 2 chapters at a time, nuts and bolts. Okay, and then we'll move on from there. But hopefully this will really help kind of drudge up some of that stuff, especially from the beginning of the year, that it's been so long. As I hear things, which I don't expect to hear much until April 3rd from the College Board, I will definitely share that with you. Okay, take care, you guys, and I will be in touch.